Welcome back to the Nikki Clarke Radio Show on wearehotline.net. And today we've got a fascinating author on the line. She is a part of Authors Without Borders. Please welcome Monica Kunzekweguta on the line. How are you doing today, Monica?
I'm doing well, Nikki. Thank you so much for having me on this radio show.
Oh, it's exciting to have you on, and it's such a pleasure to reconnect with you. We met some time ago through Anita Sacheski at a conference, and your story was extremely moving. It had many of us in tears. Myself personally, I was very, very touched by what you revealed, and you're doing so much now to unleash stories for other people in your book compilations. So let's talk a little bit about your experience, your background leading up to what you're doing today.
Oh, okay. It was really a pleasure meeting you, and I remember how, it was just powerful to be able to share stories with others. How I started my journey, I moved to I'm originally from Zimbabwe. I moved to the UK in 1994, and I worked with within the health sector, mainly with people with mental health issues. I also worked with young sex offenders. I worked with children. I worked with people who have got different physical disabilities. And through doing that, I realized that my passion is working with people, empowering them, helping them to live a fulfilled life. But after working with a group that I had worked with for 10 years, I had pretty much helped most of my clients who had severe mental health issues to be more independent. And so they had moved from higher support to medium support, and some of them had moved to where they only get partly maybe support once a week or twice a week.
Okay.
I kind of felt frustrated then at that point that I needed something different, but I still wanted to work with people. And I went on a searching journey. So I decided to quit my job as a manager for supported housing and decided to go into live-in care because I wanted to open a care agency. So I thought if I'm to be effective in this job, I need to understand it fully. I also need to understand the carer's perspective as well as understand the client's perspective, given that people will be going into somebody else's house. I wanted to understand the feel. And so that gave me a lot of experience as well in dealing with people, understanding attitudes, as well as just understanding the dynamics of living in care. But whilst I was doing that, then I decided to look into life coaching.
Mm-hmm.
So I registered with Coaching Cognition, which is based in the U.S. I did my studies online. Initially, I just wanted to do, just the basic course. And whilst I was doing that, the lady who was coaching me, because as you know, part of being a coach, you need to be coached, said to me, I know you've told me that you want to do just a basic coach. But to be honest with you, this is our last session. I feel that coaching is your calling. But also at that time, I was starting to enjoy coaching and really feeling that this is what I want to do. So I went on to complete my coaching up to advanced level. And I realized that I was actually quite effective in helping people move from where they are to where they wanted to be. And what happened was I met Anita Sacheski through the coaching college. And I saw her advertising one of her books. I think was Living Without Limitations. certain mentors to rock your world. And I was really fascinated, and I felt that I really want to be part of that. So I went through a period where I had such a difficult time. I ended up not working for like 7 months. And during that period, I almost lost 2 of my properties in the same calendar year. When I got back to work, I thought, you know what, my life needs to change. Now I seem to be going round and round and not really getting satisfaction and fulfillment. So I approached Anita and I said, I want to write a book. How do I go about it? And she said, oh, fantastic. So we talked about it, and she said, what story would you want to write about? Then she invited me to work on Living Without Limitations, 30 Stories to Heal Your World. That was when, I shared the story I talked to you at the conference about.
Right.
And that kind of unleashed something within me. I realized that I was holding a lot within before sharing that story. I had a lot of unforgiveness in me. I had stagnation. I couldn't move. And I wasn't able to look at situations from a different perspective. But when I put a pen to paper to write that story, I know she only wanted 1,500 words for that chapter. But from the moment I stopped speaking to her, 3 hours later, I had written 5,000 words.
Oh my!
And
that's a lot of unleashing.
So I had to scale it down. It took me a couple of days each day to scale it down and take out some of the information. But that whole process, not only did it heal me, but it also healed the relationship I had with my father. It also helped me look at his perspective as well, from the things that I had held in my heart to say this was wrong, but to understand where he was coming from. And it was as if miracles were now starting to happen.
You started to see a shift happening because of your forgiveness.
Absolutely,
that's
absolutely. A huge shift happened there.
Wow. So let's talk now about the book that you're about to launch October 27th. It's just around the corner. So tell us about the exciting book and a little bit about your vision and what people can anticipate when they read the book.
Absolutely. So what led me to write this book is I did my first compilation then of the depth of her soul, the depth of her soul, stories of faith and courage. It was published in February. And through helping people, I realized that this is what I need to do. As I was now working with co-authors on a one-to-one basis, I realized that this isn't just writing and this is not just compiling. When you do that, you're actually coaching people and you're helping. More so when one of the co-authors told me that, the week you insisted and kept coming asking me if I could write, the day I started to write, I healed, because on that day I had decided to take my life.
Oh my.
It made me realize that this is not just writing books. This is saving lives. This is profound. Yes. So I could not just write that book and stop. I decided then to look at to create authors without boundaries, which would help people from all over the world to share their stories, but it's mainly to help people to heal. And the strategy that I had is that as a life coach, I will work with someone to not just share their story, But we discuss the story in depth just to help them to bring out the story and heal in the process.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
And you know, there's no shame in stories. You know, whatever happened in the past is in the past. That's behind you. So you can just keep moving forward. However, there are some lessons that we can take, and as you are doing, you're bravely teaching people these lessons. Can you just very briefly, and however much you wish to disclose, just a little bit of a glimpse of what happened in the past, so people can have some context as to the riveting story that you unleashed in your book?
Okay. So, for example, one of the stories that I shared, I grew up in a community which did not allow girls to go to school. But because I was an intelligent child who was being encouraged not just by my father but by his siblings as well, I had that confidence, and I had already started to dream and plan that I was going to go to university and go into a career of my choice. But unfortunately, when I reached A-level, I was told that, you know what, I couldn't continue because that community now was now putting a lot of pressure on my father not to carry on educating the girl child. And so at that point, I decided to run away. So I ran away from home. I ran away from my paternal family and went to live with my maternal family so that I could carry on with my education. My parents had been divorced since I was 3, so it was easy for me to find somewhere else to go. But I had this struggle because I was very close to my dad. So being separated from him because of the decision I made was very difficult. But also I think he himself, as a father, had not realized that he had already planted a lot of values in me. Because when I was much younger, each time I brought in a report card, he would discuss with me in details on the subjects which I had passed and wanted to find out more on the subject which I didn't do so well. So deep down in my heart, I knew that my father wanted me to be educated. Yes. But then he had reached this point where he was stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Okay.
Yeah. So that affected the relationship to a point where we could not communicate for 12 years. But I kept trying, and eventually, you know, the relationship worked well, but it wasn't up until after I managed to write this book that I was able to really release any of the resentment I was holding on to.
Right. So now you can unleash. Did your relationship, was it repaired after that?
Absolutely. Now we have such a fantastic relationship, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity that I had to share that story, because not only has it made life easy for me, it has made life easy for my dad and the family as well.
Fantastic. So tell me now the vision of this story, of the collection of stories that you have in your book. What was it mainly? What are the 2 points of this vision that you have of putting the book together?
All right. This book has got some themes of beating the odds, in pursuit of happiness, as well as a quest for personal relevance. These are the things which mainly affect us. There's issues of self-esteem, there's issues of confidence. When we face serious challenges, it could be abuse. You know, it could be, I have someone who is really sharing their story about how they were affected by HIV, and how they have now healed to a point where they're now helping people who are newly diagnosed and supporting them.
Okay. Amazing.
And it is when people share such stories, then they're able to reach out to those who are still unwilling to disclose. And we know that in situations like that, people don't want to disclose. They don't want to seek medical help.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but when they see someone who shares a story and is really open about how it has helped them, and they look at them and they see that this person is now a public speaker, they're living a fulfilled life and all that, it encourages others too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
So, you've done quite a bit for yourself in your own healing, and you're giving back and healing a community of people. So how has your life been transformed during this process?
My life has been transformed in that whatever was holding me back and was hindering my dreaming has been taken off. It's like a veil or a weight which was on your shoulder. It's just been lifted off. And now I'm able to breathe. I know that anything is possible. My vision is big. I'm not only looking at working with a small number of people. I've realized that the way I want to work is to coach people. So the future of Authors Without Boundaries is to have life coaches who are also editors, because they would need to, the person, instead of just writing their story and submitting it, they also need to have a one-to-one. So if I'm going to have so many clients, they need to have some coaching sessions with someone. And so life coaches will come in who have got editorial skills, and they will work with these clients not only to bring their story out, but also to help them through this process.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Now, where can people purchase the book, Monica?
The link is going to be, the book is going to be on Amazon. I'll be sharing the link on my Facebook page, Monica Kunzekweguta, and we'll also be sharing it on my website, monakunze.com. MonicaKunze.com. So I decided to shorten my surname. Sorry?
How do you spell your last name?
Kunze. So my website is just MonicaKunze.com.
Okay.
Yes.
Easy to remember. Fantastic.
And then Authors Without Boundaries as well will be up. It will have more materials on it. And on my website, people will be able to download one of my stories from it.
Amazing. Amazing what you're doing. Well, we're very proud of you. I commend all the efforts that you've garnered to make this project happen. And you've done it once and you're doing it again. And I'm sure there are a lot more stories that you're going to launch in the near future. So I just congratulate you on the book. The upcoming book is about to be launched October 27th. And people can go online. They can go to Amazon and purchase the book for how much?
Amazon hasn't given us the feedback yet, but all the information will be available.
Will be
my
available
Facebook
at that
page.
time.
Yes.
Fantastic. So Monica, I just want to thank you for your time and just giving us a glimpse of, your background and what your intentions are for helping people rediscover themselves through their own writing and helping to heal themselves through writing. So that is a marvelous gift that you're offering people. So thank you again.
Absolutely. I'm helping people to build their strength through resilience. So they use their adversities to build resilience and build on their lives. So I really appreciate you, Nikki, for giving me this opportunity to share with your fantastic audience. And I'm actually looking forward to connecting with a lot of people. I'm also a speaker, so if anybody is interested in hiring someone to speak, I'll be happy to do so.
Yes, and I'll vouch for Monica. She's a fantastic, captivating speaker, and she'll have everyone completely drawn with her story. So, again, Monica, thank you very much for all that you're doing. We had a wonderful time listening to you. And again, repeat your contacts for people who may have just tuned in to listen to the interview now.
Uh-huh.
Could I just get your contacts? Could I just get your contacts once again for people who just tuned in?
Oh, okay. It's Monica Kunze, spelled as KUNZE.com, or Monica Kunzekweguta Facebook page is KUNZEKWEGUTA. That's my long surname there. And my phone number, my phone number is +1 403 903 2783. I'm based in Canada.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, Monica, we look forward to having you live, the Nikki Clarke Show, the next couple of months. We'll announce the date very shortly, and I know the audience are just going to love you. So we look forward to that. And again, I just want to thank you again for everything you're doing. And we'll talk very soon. You've been listening to the Nikki Clarke Radio Show on wearehotline.net, and we're just talking to author, motivational speaker. I'm going to use your short form last name, Monica Kunze, on the show. Thank you very much, Monica.
That's right. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too. You have a blessed day, and we'll talk soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.